In this video, I'm going to be comparing the Dualsense Edge and the Elite Series 2. The reason why I am comparing these two controllers is because I feel like the Dualsense Edge has been the Elite Series 2 answer to the PlayStation, because Xbox for a couple of years has had a couple of different Pro controllers and has had the Elite Series 2 ever since the Xbox One with the last generation. And the Dualsense Edge is the first proper Elite Series 2 version for the PlayStation, which is why we're comparing the two. And there's so much to talk about with the two, like the weight, the feel, the battery life, like how is it as a user, because I've had both for over a couple of months. I've had the Elite Series 2 for a good year, and let's just talk about this, delve straight in, because this is super exciting to me to talk about these two controllers. So let's talk about it. The weight, the feel, definitely the Elite Series 2 is a lot heavier than the PlayStation Pro controller here. So this controller is made out of a lot of metal parts. We've got the metal joysticks, everything is sort of metallic. We've got 4 back paddles there. With this, only 2 back paddles. These are replaceable too, but we don't have the replaceable part here. We do have a very similar structure with these two. So we do have 3 levels of this, as well as the Elite Series 2 having the 3 levels here as well, with how far they go down. That's for FPS shooters. And both have the customizable profiles. Apart from that, I guess the Elite Series 2 definitely has more choices with the back paddles and more customization. The Elite Series 2 does have the customizable faces and different colors. Xbox has definitely mastered the custom creation part of it with different colors. You can customize the Elite Series 2 to how you like it with different colors. In terms of how they look, the PlayStation Edge definitely has the original sort of DualSense feel to it, with the colors, the look, everything like that just feels more graded with it all. And we've also got, specific pattern there, with this part having, the logos on there and stuff like that. So some little details there. The only thing that really looks similar is having that Xbox symbol there, having the similar face, but the rest is a real original look with the Elite Series 2. With these parts, this has this sort of carbon fiber feel here at these edges. Does fit into your hand really well. Good weight, good feel. Like I mentioned before, we do have these parts that we can take off. We've got multiple different stuff at the back that we can talk later about in the video. With this, okay, so we have to take off the face plate here to be able to remove these joysticks. So it takes a little bit more effort, I would say, to remove these joysticks and customize them. But what I do like is these soft, rounded edges. Reminds me of the original PlayStation controller, which is why I customize it that way. In terms of the Xbox controller itself, I like how the 2 joysticks are like this, the way they're built, like that. Sort of PlayStation always had it like this, but I don't know. I've had better experiences playing games like FIFA and stuff like that with the joysticks more this way in the orientation. One thing to definitely talk about is battery life. So the Elite Series 2 definitely has better battery life, like overall, whereas with the Dualsense Edge, 4 hours battery life only. I mainly just plug it in with the cable. Now the cable definitely is a lot better with this than with the Elite Series 2. We don't even get a cable with the Elite Series 2. We got this really nice braided cable with the PlayStation controller, and it has this locking mechanism. It's not something that we get with the Elite Series 2. We do have the Elite Series 2 style back paddles with that PlayStation controller too. And we got the smaller ones, which have been really good. I do actually really like these. We do have the function buttons at the bottom here as well, so we could do a lot of customization with those. We can also take out different modules from these parts. So that's really gotten rid of, stuff like stick drift. Definitely something that the Elite Series 2 haven't done, because stick drift is a big issue with controllers, especially over time. You know, we're gonna get stick drift. So PlayStation have solved this issue with this controller, which is what makes it spectacular, that they overcame this issue with customizable and removable modules for our joysticks. Locking mechanism for the charger, which is a brand new feature as well. Both cases are pretty similar. You know, we've got all of our pouches and stuff like that. The major difference I find with the cases, you know, we've got this with the Elite Series 2, and this goes to this portable metallic charger. And also we've got this thing, which is like a pin that we can change sort of how tight the joysticks are. In terms of connecting to the software of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, both are great. Both have the individual profiles, both super easy to use. You just press the logo and they will appear. Something that the PlayStation controller does that the Xbox controller doesn't is have the mute button on the actual controller itself. So that's definitely something that we can do. That's not exactly something that we need 100% with the Xbox. Like, it's not the biggest make or break feature. It's just something with the PlayStation controller that we have that we don't have with the Elite Series 2. There are a couple of features that the Elite Series 2 has that, you know, the PlayStation controller doesn't have, that I feel like the Xbox does a lot better. You know, we've got this removable part right here. We've got longer battery life, and we've got the tightening parts for our joysticks, and it's a lot easier to just take out the individual parts. We don't have to take out a faceplate. We can just, you know, take them out. They're all made out of really great materials, metal, all sorts of stuff like that. So overall, the Elite Series 2 is still one of my favorite controllers overall. It's almost unbeatable at this point. They've also done really great with the customization in terms of the colors, the feel. You know, we've got brand new Elite cores coming out with different colors as well. We've got blue and green coming out with that as well, and we've got the white version. So with the PlayStation controller, I'm finding that a lot of people haven't actually upgraded their controller to the DualSense Edge yet, because they feel like, one, it's too expensive, and two, the battery life kind of sucks. It's only 4 hours, you know, it's not enough battery life for their gameplay. But for me, I just plug it in and I'm fine. I do like these circular pads that they do have with the joysticks, and of course, like, just having the general functions of the DualSense controller in here. You know, we've got the microphone control, we've got the mute control here, we've got the DualSense Edge sort of shortcuts and stuff like that. We do have the customizable profiles, but I don't use them enough with this controller. And just the basic controllers, I do like that locking mechanism at the top there. It's been really good. Overall, I'm using both like almost every single day. Every time that I pick up the PlayStation, I am using the DualSense Edge. And every time I pick up my Xbox, I'm using the Elite Series 2. So both are fantastic controllers. So it's kind of like a comparison, not really between the two different consoles, because they're two different consoles, they're two different controllers altogether. I've definitely used the Elite Series 2 a lot more than the DualSense Edge because I've had it for longer. So both over time have been absolutely fantastic. Definitely a lot more people are finding that they're getting the Elite Series 2 more than the DualSense Edge altogether. Definitely the Elite Series 2 probably wins today because of that more popularity. Both have great things about each other, and both have things to improve on with each other as well, and just get a sense and a feel of both, and both are great. So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content, and I'll see you guys next time.